derby.
There's a fishing derby. It's like, don't talk about the fishing derby. My friend Shia over there, he's gonna get really angry because like the UpLuft stuff is going nuts because like everyone wants to be close to where the fishing derby is. Now we're not gonna be friends anymore. There was a really cool, there's a really cool fishing derby. UpLuft auction. All right, like this is
gunning.
Son. This is nuts, right? Like the competition in the UpLuft is fierce. There's nothing fiercer than the competition in the UpLuft. And these are all 50 by 50s, man. Like they're all 50 by 50s, and people are going nuts. Like there's some areas like the red areas, which is really interesting. Like around the spawn, it's massive, right? Like
1,500 wax for that. Holy shit!
Right, and like right by Scrons. I mean, how could you not want to pay 1,500 wax to be right by Scrons, right?
I mean, yeah, getting that close to spawn, it's not crazy.
No, it's not.
I love that green rabbit down there. Whoever's got that, congrats.
Yeah. I mean, it's probably the second best spawn in the whole metaverse, I would say.
We should go over there later on in this show. TC, good morning. I've been thinking about you a lot this morning, TC. I was like they talk about like the sort of, startup roller coaster or whatever, while I especially doing the show and working with you, Jimmy, like we try and like really focus on the positive all the time. Like it's a conscious thing. We were talking about it for 10 minutes before the show. Like we want to be bringing more of that in the world. Like that at the end of the day, the gratitude practice, all this shit, like that's not a gimmick. Like that's like one of the main reasons why we show up in the morning, right?
Right.
But it's a fucking roller coaster. Like this whole startup thing, like, and like, I love being in states of momentum. I love, challenges. This is a fucking big challenge. And I'll tell you right now, like there are times when I have a tremendous amount of doubt. And those are shitty moments. But like by times, I mean, like there was a half an hour this morning. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Because I was talking to somebody about this yesterday. And we got to get to the rest of this auction thing. So I'll keep this diatribe short, but I've got a bunch of legit offers on the table where I could go make way more money, way simpler than doing the UpLift. And so I'm like having to decide to do that. And for the record, it's an easy decision. And it's an easy decision because of all this shit, Jimmy. Like, look at all these people. Like that, like the amount of creativity and maybe the joy I'm getting from like just pointing at stuff and going, holy shit, because that's fun. It's a fun job. Is really intense. And obviously the UpLift team, although I mean, seriously, we could go fucking consult for $50,000 a month. Whew.
So it's interesting that you bring that up, right? So Turbo Eddie, you're in the comments. Great to see you. He sent me a mail the other day. He was super excited, right? Because like he locked down, 4 50 by 50s, 3 50 by 50s around him, and like a coral plot. And he's like, man, this is what I wanted to do, right? And he had a bit of a rough go last week. It's his story to tell, not mine. But like it was really interesting to see that excitement. Chia over in Gratitude, he thought he was going to get outbid on a water plot that. He loves building those water plots, and he just really wanted to be in that like art, Skyrail district that we were putting together. And, he ended up getting them all. And like, he was so excited because the very next day he was over in Chicken Caw with like some of the all-stars of the UpLift showing up with like, animals from the nether to race in his new horse track. Right. And he's just like, these people are awesome. They're bringing like animals, they're bringing horses, like we're racing around. Like I love coffee. There's popcorn, putting this together. I've had so many people just because of this auction reach out to me and say, hey, look, we're super excited and a little bit frustrated at the same time because everyone wants to buy the damn plot that's beside me and I want it.
Yeah. So, it's the way. Really, it's the way. So there's a couple more minutes left in the auction. If you obviously like, and I know if you get your bids in, there's like a minute 14 left. We thought it was like 5 or 10 minutes. Apparently it's like 1 minute that you have to re-up. And that's an Atomic Hub thing. So a couple things on that were, we did a poll in the Discord, asking everybody like if they'd want us to put everything back on sale for 24 hours. It was a resounding yes, just so people could kind of make some kind of last ditch offers or whatever. So that's fun. So we're gonna do that, right? So if there's anything that is kind of left on the table that anybody wants to nab, they can do that. Again, every piece of land that you pick up is gonna mean more DAO tokens when we do the 2 different distributions. We're doing 12.5% of all of the DAO tokens are going to landholders. Fairly soon. I think we're gonna do the snapshot at the end of April or very soon after. And then a 12.5 again. Is it 10? Yeah, because we're doing something for Burns too. Anyway, Jimmy, go ahead.
Yeah, keep talking, but go back to the uplift map. I want to see things light up and go off, and like we're like down to the bottom like 4 seconds.
It is down. Yeah, I mean, so this is the thing. Like, it'll be because they're scaled too. It could be 10 minutes from now before they do end. Because like the script that we do, that Flo does to kind of start all the auctions, actually takes some time to list one auction after another over and over and over and over and over again. So.
Well, follow one of the links and see how, like, maybe that red one's a good one because that'll be one of the later ones that go right there by spawn. No, I mean on the map. If you just click on the map.
Ended. There you go. Breaking news. Last chance land sale. I freaking love Dennis.
Except it's not. I mean, it is for round 1, but like Corey was talking about, round 2 is going to be kicking off, I guess, Thursday 9 a.m. at Eastern Standard Time.
Yeah.
And everything that wasn't sold will go back on a 24-hour auction window. And right. Like what you were saying, part of the reason is because people were kind of, waiting to see whether they could collect their wax back, and if they missed the bid, and then they could, jump in and bid on something else. But they were expecting 10 minutes. And,
there's still 10 minutes. As an example of what I was talking about, there's still 10 minutes left on this one. There was like a pretty fucking epic fight for this one, which is awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be interesting, right? Like, so yeah, like Turbo Eddie, he's gonna create a theme park, which is really cool. I've had a little bit of trouble writing, as you can imagine, with a broken clavicle, and 9 bolts and metal plate in my upper shoulder. But I've actually figured out a way to like optimize the hell out of this, and we've been getting some people who have been sending me images that I'm able to plug in to post, and we're getting this info out there. And there's another contest that's happening right now, which is really interesting. I mean, everything about it is good except one thing, and that's that I'm a little bit annoyed. And the reason I'm annoyed is because like last week, I just put together a post about all the types of series that we have that are listed on the archives. And then, Silver Eye, he comes out of nowhere and he's just like, hey, I need a portal design and I'm going to do a contest and give away wax. And it doesn't plug and fit into my formula for the archives of where it needed to be. So I had to create a whole nother goddamn series just for this like thing. And it's like, anyway, it's going to be really cool. Go check out where we hide all the alpha.com, especially if you're an artist. He's created a portal hub in London. That's
London 2300.
Yeah, and it's going right back to the underground portal hub, and so there's a contest, 1-week contest starting today for people to create a image for the portal, and I think like 150 wax if you win.
3,400. Sorry, go ahead.
No, like 150 wax if you win or something like that. So I've already submitted my design. I was pretty stoked about that. But yeah.
Okay, so this is 24. And we need 3,000 down here somewhere.
2,400, 3,100.
20. Oh, it's it down here? Yeah.
Yes. Oh yeah. So that's it. That's Turbo Eddie's.
Turbo Eddie, his little enclave. Oh, that's so adorable.
That he was super excited about.
That's so great. Cool. Here, let's get the 3D look of this bad boy.
And so, actually, one of the cool things about this gratitude rail thing is having
tower. What?
Having Chia in there, because Chia. I was talking about him earlier. He's a community guy. He's doing the fishing derby. He's building the horse track. He told me today in confidence that like one of the reasons he's still here is because of some of the stand-up community members, and he won a few extra auctions. I'm not even sure if I'm allowed to say this, but like some of his best friends in the space, he gifted those extra auctions in the gratitude district. And I was thinking the same thing. Like we're actually going to give Turbo Eddie a plot over there I'm going to gift him one alongside his buddy G-Kid, who's been doing a lot of kind of aerial photography for us. So we're basically turning that central area of the Gratitude Pavilion Temple into like an art district. So I'm putting together a piece right now. If you want to be a part of that, Corey, I'm like super excited about this. I was looking at the map with Cowie, the Uplift Jedi, because like me and Cowie and the Nasty Hooks, we've been talking about this for eons.
Yeah.
And Cowie's like, hey, you know, like there's this other plot that we could go like 5 and 6 like plots over, and like we could connect to that as well. And I was up there looking, and I realized that we're 4 plots away from spawn. 4 plots away from spawn that we could run connections. That we could in Gratitude we could run connections. We could run connections from spawn all the way down to the bottom of the map, which is crazy. Like if you zoom in there a little bit.
Is this spawn down here?
No, it spawns up there where all those people are. Yeah.
So spawns off to the side. I forgot about that.
Yeah. So zoom in there. Now you can see, like, go down a bit. Down. A little bit more down. All of these are already connected. These people, this isn't part of the Gratitude Rail. These people, wandered plots around.
All this
around
shit is connected.
Now, but look, there's 4 connections there, and that big blue like L area beneath this one. The big blue L area beneath this one.
Oh,
that's Cowie's. And there's 4 connections to get from spawn to Cowie, which takes you all the way almost to the bottom corner of the map.
That's cool.
Man, this is going to be like epic. I'm super excited. I'm writing a hashtag shameless plug with uplifting relevance post. I never show shit because, I'm just me and I like to show other people shit, but I'm showing the hell out of this, man. Because like this is something that me and Bird Bones and the Drizzle and even Cowie have been talking to for ages. So if you want to be part of this, I'm putting out a map. Corey's seen it. A couple other people have seen it. There's little white plugs all over. And whether you're in Gratitude or not, pick up one of those plugs and let us run a 4-plot rail through it. And we're going to build basically the Great Wall of China that can be seen from space already, which is pretty...
There's 4 minutes left on this. I think this is one of the 250s by 250s. 4 minutes 32 seconds, if I'm not mistaken.
It can't be a 250 by 250 if it's an uplift.
Oh no, it's just a 50 by 50. Never mind. Never mind.
There's no 250 by 250.
2000 by 2000. I think it's a rail. Sorry guys. Yeah, it's just like a rail that everybody wants apparently.
Hey, I want to check out the Swineland. Go to the Swineland map. I want to see how the Badlands are faring. Might be so. That's pretty good.
Oh man, that's awesome. Oh man, look at this little wax logo. That's cool.
That's good.
Yeah.
So this rail is really the only rail that's like Badlands rail that's available.
Yeah, I mean, and this is the thing, right? Like the everybody really wanted this. Apparently, is the only like Badlands terracotta producing lands in the entire survival districts, right? And there's like, Gratitude, London, UpLuft, Swineland, Boarvallis are all Chicken Caw are all survival within the survival district, right? And
for now, I'm a little bit annoyed, to be honest, because
I think there's tons of survival right now. There was some talk about, I know Chris has been talking to some people about doing a specialized super hardcore survival one. That's not going to be attached to the economic zone though. I don't think.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's just apparently some demand for that. You crazy weirdos. So, but I mean, I think there's tons of survival right now. I'm excited for Thune because it's going to be like the only other right now creative other than that one, and like figuring out how. And maybe this is going to be a DAO thing, Jimmy. Like when we do the little tiny maps on Ethereum or on Polygon or Terra or whatever. I wonder if we should get them up to a point where they. I wonder if we should vote on, which way they should lean.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, it's funny that you're going that far because I'm going like, we got small maps. Let's get everyone to apply and pull a whole yeah, what's that project called? I forget. Anyway, but like let's just get everyone in Terra or everyone on Polygon to apply, and we're gonna say, okay, we got 25 plots. Now go and show the hell out of why you deserve to have a plot, and those are the people who get the community plots. And then like we can utilize that to have them, the people who get the community plots, vote on. I don't know. I like it. It's difficult, right? Like, because we don't want to choose, but maybe the DAO people want to choose too. I don't know. I mean, right? Sitting down and writing this article today about gratitude brings up a lot of positive thoughts. And I'm trying to actually be short on this one because, you know, my situation right now, but it's difficult because gratitude was gratitude and Genesis, they were the community plot sectors that we started with. Mm-hmm. And Genesis took off really fast because it's creative, right? But if we look at the most, in my opinion, the most successful server, really, probably the one that's, I mean, they're all great, so don't get your panties in a knot here, people. But like UpLuft, for example, right? Yeah. Like they're killing it, and they've been killing it from day one. And like the people over in London, they were like, you know, a little bit annoyed because like they did the hardcore thing for a while, and then all these UpLuft people came in. But like, man, UpLuft, they're like the bored apes of the Uplift, really. They're the ones that came in and they're just like, you know, we're going to take this shit and we're going to make it our own. We're going to carve out a genre. We're going to do what no other server has done. And we're going to do all in survival faster than what those fuckers over in Genesis did.
But I mean, right? That's like, now that said, like nothing against Uplift because everything you just said is totally true.
Yeah.
But like the things that started happening in London were pretty nuts too. So now, granted, it was a little bit earlier, right? And like all these things go in waves, right? I think like NFT projects to communities or whatever. Like you get, you know, a bunch of energy that starts to, build on itself, right? It creates more energy because more people are getting in and doing more things together, and it creates collaborations and help and all that good stuff. And that'll end up waning. Like that'll cool at a certain point, right? Because like we're especially in NFTs, right? There's something shiny on the other side of the hill every 5 seconds, but it comes back, right? And it's going to be interesting to see how that stuff comes back and the people that stick around and keep building. It's interesting too. I was thinking about this, Jimmy, like the because you've gone through crypto winters, right? And I've been through one.
Corey got so pissed off with crypto winter he moved to Florida.
I mean, I was already here, but okay.
I think that should be a meme, though.
Sure. Yeah, exactly. Like I don't exactly understand what crypto winter is, but it's Florida. God damn it, or something. But yeah, the what I noticed, because very few people are going to stick around in crypto winter, right? Mm-hmm. Like everybody watching this show, most of you guys probably will, but like most people won't, right? Because like everybody's in it for a quick buck, and once the quick buck goes away, that energy goes away, and then you're just left with the fundamentals of what you're building. And long-term plans only, basically, and grinding out. At least in crypto for us, it was grinding out basically for free 4 years to prepare for the next upswing. Now, I have a suspicion that we're seeing that same cycle, but it goes in 3 to 9 months now in NFTs and play to earn, right? And it's not. In all projects, it's in this project over here, then it's in this project over here, then it's in this project over here, while the rest of them continue to keep building. So, and again, like we could see like a full on, everybody leaving the space or whatever. Awesome, TC. That's great. TC Discord is 2 UpLuft plots. But yeah, I wonder about it, right? Because it really does feel like that same kind of cyclical energy, but sped up. And distributed a little bit, which is great, frankly, for everybody. If the entire ecosystem is constantly bubbling, right? like we had our little honeymoon phase a year ago. Here we still are. We're still building. We're still iterating. We're infinitely better than where we said we'd be. Frankly, everything we said we were going to do in the beginning, we have done. It's all working. There's a couple exceptions, like that fractionalizing plots we talked about a bunch. Like we haven't got that working yet. That still bugs me. We'll figure that out, right? And we're working on a bunch more things. And like and there's other projects that are going through that same thing, right? So the people that survive those, like the bottom of the wave, I think get to come back and build back stronger. Sorry, I'm fucking ranting again this morning.
No, I like it. I think this. If this is the Uplift's winter, crypto winter, NFT winter, then I'm okay with that. And I honestly don't even think it's a winter, right? Like our planet had theirs. Again, we were talking about this before the show. I think the beauty of being in this space is, well, there's two kinds of people in this space. I think two kinds of projects in this space. They keep doing the same thing over and over and over again, and they do it because they can make money, and they don't change anything. And then there's the people who innovate, who change, who might have a little bit of a hiccup or a speed bump in the road, but they come back bigger, better, and stronger, and they shape the ecosystem in a way that nobody else has done. And I think that's kind of, we might have actually earned our gym shorts on that second aspect, right? So I want to play a game because we
gotta watch this fishing derby thing, which is really funny. Jimmy, did I tell you that I talked to Max?
Hey, are you allowed to watch the fishing derby thing?
No, we'll watch it. Is the
auction over?
On right now. Yeah, the auction's mostly over, I think.
Okay, don't watch the fishing derby until the auction's over. I'm under strict orders for this. I've had a fishing derby. I've had a fishing derby post lined up for the last 2 weeks, but I wasn't allowed to release it. Let's go watch the fucking fishing derby thing.
We can in a minute. I want to tell a little bit of a story, but first, TC's been on this and he's right. So plus you have an actual working game, one you can play, not click button, way more fun, right? Which is there's and apparently Green Rabbit actually has a playable part of their game now, and we shouldn't forget, Immersus has been in that same vein, having something that you can actually fuck around with.
Immersus is they're killing it, right? And that's
I love those guys,
ground on up,
right? And and I haven't played Forgery yet, but that's a real game. Anders has been neck deep in that, understandably. So yeah, no, I agree, and I hope that these other projects figure that out. And I mean, we're getting set to gamify things. It's way more this year. That's going to be kind of our thing. But did I tell you that I talked to Max? Do you know who Max is?
Yeah. So you talking about Max Infeld?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Max Infeld, if you don't know, he's been on the show a really long time ago when Corey and I
should get him on again.
We should, and we've been trying, but he's popular and famous and a real well-made NFT artist.
Dude,
he's multi-billionaire now, right?
I don't know about that.
I don't know about that, but
co-founder of My Curio Cards, which is the first NFT collection on Earth.
Yeah.
He actually told. Did you see the tweet that he's got NFTs in that Arctic vault now?
Yeah, I did. That's amazing.
What? Shut up. Anyway, so I had a really long conversation with Max about Alien Worlds and the Uplift, and that's all I can say right now.
Yeah, fair enough. I like it.
And also, he gave me this, and I feel pretty good about it. Apparently, these are. And if anyone asks, Max didn't give me this. I picked it up off the side of the road. I'm not sure you're supposed to give it to me, but I'm very excited about it. And there's only 50. And
that's that just got really weird in the most bizarre way. You're holding up something that's semi-transparent that you picked up that was on the side of the road that comes from Max of Alien World.
I mean, he's a sexy bitch. That's just a real thing. That's real. Yeah. So we had an amazing conversation about some potential collaborations. Again, if I could announce it, I would. Right now, it's just sort of in the idea phase, but we're moving aggressively towards something like that.
So let's watch the fishing derby. But before we do that, I want to do a thing. I want to do this because I'm having a good time with you. It's been it's been rough, and you touched on something that I want to come back to. So let's play a game. All right.
Okay.
Because we've been praising servers, and we've also been harping on them. But I've been writing a lot recently about different servers, and they're like your kids, man. They're they've each got their their benefits and their bonuses.
There's some stuff turning blue on UpLuft now.
Oh, let's go do that. Let's go watch that.
Well, you can. Yeah, I'll just turn it on. You can keep talking. Sorry, you're talking about
yeah. So I want to ask you, because I've been thinking about this a lot recently. What are the benefits to all the servers? Because I think this is interesting. So Genesis, go. Like, what's the biggest plus of Genesis?
Oh, creative all day long.
Right.
That, and the way that people are dialing into creative, using it as a palette to create art that becomes the gallery where you host a bunch of other stuff. And again, not to say that this isn't going to start happening in the survival districts. It's just going to take longer, right?
Yeah.
And we'll have more kind of inherent value because it took longer. Like that, there's going to be an interesting dynamic there. But that's really the thing with Genesis, and it's the first map, right? So people have been there the longest. Other than some the core group that went over to CK, right? Like, so there's just more stuff there, right? And so that, I think Genesis is sort of the main kind of major city state that will grow up.
Yeah, for me, it's a place to create experiences, right? Like the art experiences, the building experiences, the wandering through the worlds, like that for me, like all day long, it'll be great. All right. Next up on the list, this is a tough one for you, Corey. Old World.
I mean,
what's the benefit? I mean, yeah,
the benefit's such an interesting word. So,
I don't mean benefit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what's I don't know how to say it better.
Like the main value proposition or something. We'll make it up. Whatever. Like the main thing. What's the thing? For me, it's two things. My and our shared history of how this place started is there. So, Cathedral 1.0, Cathedral 2.0, they speak to me about how the vast majority of people in the Uplift don't know what's going on yet. In my opinion, and if I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong, because I might be, right? People might be a lot more aware of the underpinning of this than I am aware, which would be amazing. But it's the encoding of our shared history in a digital strata. To me, that's what metaverse is, right? The games are fun. The play to earn is fun. Being in a place with your friends is fun. Fine. Having the ability for something that you build together in a place that you own, persisting for a really, really long time, encoding again the gratitudes on the wall, like that. There's that shared history bit, like that. I come back to that over and over and over again. So there's that. But then it's like, it's freaking Old World. It's the portal hub, right? It's the center of the universe, basically, right? And I woke up this morning thinking about, building a promenade over to Nefty. Nefty has a build in Old World now that, if I'm not mistaken, is just east and a little bit north of the portal hub. But creating a walkway out there, right? Doing a promenade. We've been talking about collecting the galleries together and giving them a little spot to do like a little art walk or a little focus walk, so that people could get like a holy shit, these are the kinds of people that are building in the Uplift, smack in the face, right? In Old World. So I think that, to me, like, I've been super patient with adding things to Old World, not in a hurry, right? Because I it's not only the historical district, but I think we have the ability to make it a mecca for partners that are constantly bringing value to the space, right? To the point where it's sort of it's sort of the spiritual center of the universe, as well as the actual center of our metaverse.
You wanna refresh that screen?
Yeah, sure. I think it refreshes itself, for the record.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Yeah. So for me, it's interesting because I wasn't here, and like for me, I think it's elitism of Old World. Like the portal hub and the Hall of Rules is absolutely beautiful.
It's good, yeah.
And when that was put together, I mean the cathedral as well. But you've got like some old school founders plots, I guess we would call them. Jen's got a plot over there. If you don't know Jen, then you owe me a plot of land because you need to be reading the Uplift and tuning into this channel way more, because she's like one of the most amazing core members of our team that you will never even know, because the shit that she does behind the scenes is absolutely incredible and brilliant. And Russ, who, he's Russ, man. Go read the article. really, really good. But like, yeah. Do you remember I think I told you this. Do you remember when someone wanted to tear out the rail and put in a new modern one?
Yeah.
Like, if you haven't been on the old rickety rail, it's like the difference between like jumping on the new modern roller coaster at whatever theme park you're accustomed to, or going on that old wooden monstrous one that scares the hell out of you, but like gives you an experience of a lifetime, right? Like that's the original rail that was like built by the community before the Uplift was even the Uplift. Take it out there, right? Like that's where it all started. The Burning Man event was there. I mean, there were things along that rail, monuments to science and history and really life that you and your friends had put in long before we were in a metaverse. This is an insanely fun game, but I can't believe we're only at 2. All right, gratitude, go.
I mean, I'm biased with gratitude. That was my first foray into survival. Just go back and watch.
Yeah, and you're like a young pup over there, man.
Dude, I'm terrible. And this is like
actually not entirely true. You did actually build the cathedral all in survival. Wait.
So for the record, okay, that most of that is true. But yeah, I mean, like I did. But I think, did we have mobs turned off? Like, it was survival, but I'm not going to take credit for building that in survival. Most of it was, and I didn't even know that you could fly.
Yeah, I think evil mobs were turned off, but I think you told me like it still didn't save you because llamas were knocking you off the side of the building and kept dying anyway.
That was the building. I don't know if you guys have ever seen the DNA monument that Greg and I built. I built it. He sort of like spotted for me because we built it all just kind of on spec. But yeah, llama followed me up to the top and kicked me off. And again, this is before I knew you could fly. This is how bad I am, right? But yeah, Mello and Mitzi had to come help me build out the first little bit of my birch farm, so that people can come and buy a ridiculously expensive birch blocks to build gratitude monuments, right? Which I haven't. So yeah, there's more than Return to Blue all the time. I think it's still a freaking pitched battle going on for this one,
right? Yeah,
what the shit?
So for me, what was that? I couldn't read it.
It's the 3,500 wax. Someone really wants this.
That's great.
It's not crazy, but like, holy shit. All right.
So for me, gratitude represents kind of my foray into the Uplift world.
Right.
This is my first survival plot as well. And I was in there with Anders, the Nasty Hooks. And the rest of the server was pretty much flipping empty. And we were recruiting, communities to come in to kickstart this new server that Anders had kind of, forced on us because he was so unreasonable that he was like, this is ridiculous. You idiots are going to make this into creative. And I built my whole goddamn build in survival, and like everyone else is flying around and no one's going to appreciate me. I don't think he said no one's going to appreciate me. But like we basically came to the point where we divided it. And that was for me the foundational kind of principle that you could have more than one, right? Like why get one bag of chocolate candy when you can get 2 smaller bags of chocolate and vanilla, right? In retrospect, it would have been much better with ice cream. However, that for me is pretty amazing. And now it's got a special place in my heart because, like, dude, just this gratitude rail. Seriously, like, just go in there and buy one freaking rail plot and like connect and just let me build the rail through there. You won't be disappointed. We're looking at the screen for UpLuft. Or we were.
Yeah, UpLuft is basically almost done. There's just a pitched battle going on for a couple of them.
So UpLuft, what's the thing that the UpLifters do well?
So I mean, Londom and UpLuft both, and it would be interesting to talk to people that hang out there. Like I haven't started building either one yet, right? I have land in both. And for me, Londom is the Londom Land Association. They started that themselves. They started creating lore. They started creating games. They made that crazy video. Like, what? Like that. That's pretty intense. But yeah, and again, like the economic activity now going on with shops and UpLuft and Londom, because people could pick up land for pretty cheap, right? And so we're seeing, I think, a wider you know, group of people who are playing around in those two servers, which, you know, just take a look at it, right? Like that there's a lot of creation going on. And that I think is sort of my metric for the whole thing, right? Like are people building community, which is even more important. And it seems inherently true that this is what's going on, which is kind of fun. So I kind of see them both, you know, in the same kind of vein, if that's okay.
Wow. I don't think that's okay. I think
it's like the Australia New Zealand thing. Like I'm gonna get shot.
I think you just like as a Canadian, I think you just A, got exported, and B, I think you just pissed off everyone in the Uplift world. Now I mean I see where you're coming from. I mean, for me, it's actually I've never built anything in UpLuft, but I have built something in London.
Yeah.
And you know, for me, when I see the buzz that's happening on a daily basis, right? If there's a server lagging, it's always UpLuft.
Yeah, because it gets pounded for real. Like that,
it gets pounded, right? Like it's a great test case server, and like people are in there building like really cool stuff. Also, UpLuft is probably the server that I've actually traveled the rails on the most.
That's cool.
Or wandered around on the most. So. You lump them together, but so London for me is interesting.
Yeah, you tell me, because like again, like I haven't spent like my opinion about this shouldn't matter, right? You spent more time there. You tell me.
No, so I think like UpLuft is like the serious grinders who like are in there to like outdo one another, but do it in a way that like, you know, collectively puts the other survival servers to shame. And I think like that's the mentality in there. We're UpLuft, we're in here, we're doing awesome. Now, if you look at London, there's two really interesting things that are happening in London. When London was first built, in my opinion, that was the toughest server to be in. Mobs were turned on, damage was at full control, everything was getting blown up, everyone was getting shaken out. And what came out of that was like a little bit of a weird fear that like, I can't even get to my freaking plot. So when you go to London spawn, what you'll find is you'll find the biggest connected I could be wrong here, but you'll find the biggest connected multi-plot portal mega hub. I don't know what to call it because there's like hub beside hub beside hub. Like there's like a plot with one portal hub that goes to the portal hub that's like to the next plot beside it. And it's just a network that's like insane. And so they've kind of got the bragging rights. It's still relatively empty compared to UpLuft, but yeah, I think the London people like they're in it for the grind as well. We've got 3 more to do. I'm just going to say my gratitude for today is I'm grateful for.
Ask the team to fire me. We've been too busy to do a huddle. We've just been doing everything kind of on the fly in our working channel. I miss huddles. It's just because we always do gratitudes. So I asked them to fire me some gratitudes this morning, and a lot of them are, which is awesome.
I'm grateful for all the grinders in the wax regions of the Uplift world. Listen to that back again in like an hour, in a week, in a month, in a year. We're at a pivotal moment where the people who were in the Uplift world when it was on wax.
Yeah.
I'll stop there.
Yeah, right. No, that 100%, right? Because like we know what we're gonna do,
right?
And like everybody who watches this show all the time, like you know what we're focused on for the rest of this year, right?
Yeah.
Adding features to wax. Oh my god, we have so many freaking plans for that. But we're going multi-chain. Like that's the thing. We're gonna connect all the tribes together, right? So like there was a moment where we were on one blockchain, and you guys were all here for that, right? And then there was a moment where we were on all the good ones.
I mean, like there was a moment where we were on all the good ones, and then there was a moment where, I mean, crazy things started happening with Upliftium, and you could withdraw them to any chain, and we became the place that everyone wants to be, as TC would point out, you know, Web 0.3 to the next level that isn't even defined yet. Like,
right? Yeah, we're still sort of in the process.
So I know you're focused, but I want to finish this.
Yeah, we can do it. It's good.
So here's where you might be better to answer this question than me, because like you're kind of lumping two things together.
How dare I?
You know, with UpLuft and London, that's what I'm going to do next. Boarvallis and Swineland.
Yeah, I mean, so those are two Our Planet worlds, right? You know, our first attempt at a collab. We set the price in Aether now was a bit of a joke. Now, granted, like we have yet to deploy any of that Aether, which I think we're going to be able to do as voting mechanics for, you know, not only our project but any other project that the DAO decides it wants to you know, kind of kick up the thing, right? Like I don't think we should use any of that Aether. I think we should use it to vote and be kind of a long-term player of the Our Planet ecosystem. Just because I mean, we know those guys. They're from Ukraine. They're, you know, it's like literally at war right now. We're excited for them to win that and come back. It's fucked up that I have to say it like that, but you know, whatever. Right? So anyway, long story short, that's what that is. That's how it started. And I think, you know, in the not too distant future, we're probably going to cut off upgrades. You know, we'll give people a kind of one last chance to do that if they want to, and then, you know, we'll start to populate those areas a little bit more. Just because I think like the you know, there's not enough going on in those two servers right now, and there's, you know, not to say anything bad about what is going on there. There's some. But we want to bring some energy in there. And again, there's no rush to do that, right? But people are starting to lock up some rail. You know, we'll revisit it when it's appropriate to do that and start building those things out so that they can become, you know, really amazing spots in, you know, the survival world districts. So though that is what I would say. Well, and the Badlands, obviously. It's like saw Zestra's comment.
So like for me it's interesting because I think like every single NFT that was mapped to Our Planet has a place in either Swineland or Boarvallis, which is quite interesting. We've been talking recently about the potential for, you know, communities to spin up their own server, right? Or to spin up their own world. And all of the things I used to hate about crypto, kind of coming back to enlighten me on the way forward, right? Because we're too busy, man. Like we're so busy. Like I don't even think I've uploaded the playlist on this YouTube channel in like 2 months. It's gonna take like an hour, 2 hours, to 3 hours even, right? Like to put in all the things that we need to put in. And crypto really is busy. And most people are either involved in their own echo chambers or in their own projects, and they don't have time when you're pressing a button every hour of every day to come and upload, you know, uplift to your Our Planet land or whatever other lands we decide to do in the future. So for me, it's quite interesting because I'm looking at them and I'm seeing the potential of empty space. And it's going to be really interesting to see what we can do with those later if we put a time limit on upgrades in future servers potentially, right? And how that affects the overall dynamic of spinning up server-wide clubhouses, if that's the right way to kind of hint at it. Now, I'm not making any promises, and like I'm just kind of shooting from the hip here, but like this is the potential that I see, and part of the problem with the potential that we see is putting that potential into effect. So I think it was really interesting that we you know, did this because they were a really good test case, but there's a lot of land that's left undiscovered there. And I think those might be like the two potential lands on Wax that could be very interesting regions to watch.
You know, it's funny. The empty spaces equals community lands. I am a hard pass on that. hard pass. What we're saying if we do that is that all the land that you guys bought is less valuable. Now, the DAO is going to eventually vote on public lands, right, where people can kind of go in and mine stuff. But like, I think about the economy of all this all the time, and it's a massive pillar and underpinning of everything that we're doing. Community lands is exactly how to fuck that in the skull with a train. Now, very open to being proven wrong about that. Like really open to being proven wrong about it. And I love the sentiment, right? The sentiment is we want to have a smooth onboarding experience for new people or whatever. But it's a dangerous road economically.
Well, and there's another problem with that as well, because what we're doing is we're offering people the ability now to regenerate their lands.
Right.
Right. And so if you just allow people to go and especially in Boarvallis or Swineland, if you allow people to go and just like mine out these lands, then
they're connected to every other land. It makes it makes gratitude less valuable. It makes less valuable. Right.
Yeah.
It makes like why would I like it destroys the regen upliftium sink, right? Why would I regenerate my survival plot if I could just go in and mine on community lands? And they will get stripped, and they'll get stripped really quickly. I just I don't like it. Because and not because of the sentiment. The sentiment is beautiful and awesome and like great. All right, so I'm not. Hold on, Zestra just said community lands doesn't mean free mining, so I have no fucking clue what we're talking about now.
Yeah,
so I Zestra, we should have Zestra. We should have you on the show one of these days. I mean, like one of the CK7 like OG members of this community. I'd love to hear your thoughts around it because Okay, so yeah, when she's saying when she says community lands, she means group builds, gathering areas. So I'm just gonna shut the fuck up.
Yeah, no, but sorry. So like I was actually gonna push back on you because like 98% of what you said was right, but like if you remember back in the early days, which is funny because Dr. Wayne and I spent a good 30 minutes going through randomly generated maps to get one that was essentially had a really good chunk of it that was Badlands. Because if you remember, we were going to at one point spin up a art district, and in the center we were going to do some weird things with the rail, and in the center of that art district, that art based server, what we were going to do is we were going to have the whole central area that was a ring of galleries or artists that in the central area would have been kind of what Zestra was talking about, where people could go in if they were whitelisted to those kind of galleries or artists that were around that ring. They would have free reign to go in and build and collaborate on art and things like that in the central district. So it never quite panned out, and we've got some other ideas to extend that. But I think there's going to be some really interesting things that happen with potential. I mean, I guess my one question is, how do you regulate people from going in and building as opposed to just going in and strip mining the whole plot, right? I think that's
like defining that is interesting, but it's like it not only is it interesting, but I think it focuses on that the group builds and gathering areas. It's all like community and creativity focused. Like those are high order values, right? So like it's something that it would make a lot of sense to test and iterate, right? Like we can figure out how to do that and not have it become those other things. Contest is a great idea.
Well, and like as we came to the conclusion with that art district that we were talking about, that probably won't happen, or if it does happen, it's going to be a really different form. That would actually probably be a server that was disconnected from the whole economy of the survival lands that exist. So one more, Corey. We've got one more to get through.
I just got another gratitude from Dennis just showed up. So
absolutely fascinating build here by Gary. Probably,
yeah, right. Even just like he's built all this. Like this is like what? Right. What are you doing?
Like take a screenshot of that.
All right, hold on.
And then send it to me. That's got to be in the.
I got this video. Hold on, I got this video producer thing. I just want because like sometimes the static shots don't really work. I mean, they work. They're cool, but let me see if I can make so that you guys can all sort of be part of this on the show. I just grabbed this this screen recorder.
Yeah, Zestra. Actually, we've had conversations. Cowie and I have actually had conversations. This like, what if we could put together an event server for a month, and we could just open that up. And we could put together guilds or bring the guilds in the future, or potentially even teams from each kind of server that already exists or each kind of region that already exists. And we devy out a section of that server, that event server. And we say, okay, you guys have 1 week or 1 month to go crazy, mine out your section of the server and build the most epic build or theme build or something like that. And we could, potentially award prizes or get sponsorships for various things. I think that's a really cool idea. I think it would have to be done in an event server. I don't think it could be connected to the regular economy, but I think it would be a really, kind of cool test case to pull off as an event, actually. Dude, is that like a what was that thing, that whole Milky Way galaxy thing there in the background?
Yeah, I'm using Astralex again. I missed Astralex. Pretty hardcore.
That's really good.
All right.
Okay.
Cool. I just wanted to make a little video there. I'll post this on Twitter later.
All right, last one. We got one more to get through, and then we'll let you guys go. But we gotta, I don't know, save the best for last, but save the CK7 for last, definitely, because the CK7, they were some of the earliest people on the server before the Uplift was even the Uplift. Here with Corey before I even knew. He's my best friend, and that's exciting. Chicken Ka.
Yeah, I mean, chicken Ka. What do you say about chicken Ka? Yeah, I mean, like, it's another one where I haven't spent enough time there recently, right? Like Greg, Jen, Jen's husband Russ, Zestra, Laugh Track, all these people that were in Old World, which wasn't even Old World. It was just the place where we were hanging out in the pandemic, that Greg and I started. And I asked them all we started because we thought we could do it all on one big map. We're fucking stupid. And by we, I mean me. We hadn't really understood the server problem yet with the threadiness and all that stuff that is
well
defined.
Part of the problem was like Dr. Wayne was like the distance between the cathedral on Mars, because he had gone so far east that like nobody knew really where he was. Wasn't that the deal? Didn't he just like follow the coastline for hours and days?
Oh yeah, Wayne. Oh yeah, no, dude. He, like in that, I think you can actually still see the evidence of that on the map. Right. But yeah, the Go West fam. So yeah, I basically told everyone like, hey, just because we're gonna sort of, everybody claimed, everybody in the original team, like we all kind of have little spots around Old World, right? Like I've got my little house next to the cathedral, and the cathedral spot, and like we've got the historical district, and people have little spots around or whatever. They're like, cool, get the fuck out of here, go west, right? So everyone went west until I can't remember who stopped, but like somebody thought, hey, this is a pretty good spot, and so they stopped, right? And that was all when it was on one big map, and we actually managed to cut all that stuff out. So that's still CK7, right? So all the stuff that they did is still persistent, which is really fun. But Chicken Ka is actually I can't remember the name of the language, some Aztec language or something like that, for Western City, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's really fun. So again, like and so people that were there in the beginning got large chunks of land just for having been there, right? Like the fact that they were West City. Thank you. They were like helped us found it and build a lot of the early infrastructure and right. And so we did the first auction ever there. And so, the land that people can get in on is sort of in, clusters. There's a higher level of scarcity, I think, in Chicken Ka, which, has the effect of compressing things. It's just an interesting example. I believe that Chicken Ka will probably be the first world to have its own DAO. Because why wouldn't they, right? And I would probably be working in that on that already if it was me. The Yucatec language, awesome, Zestra, thank you. I knew it had an awesome, cool name, and I forgot what it was. So yeah, I mean, Chicken Ka is like the shit, just different historical kind of Shit.
Yeah, I mean, a couple things. The first, not really related to chicken call, but like, if you weren't here in the early days, it was quite interesting because like I wasn't really here in the early days. But all of that rail that went, from the cathedral area to what is now Genesis and what is now Chicken Call in the north, it was all done by that original community, a lot of which was mined and put in place by the CK7. And for me, the CK7 is interesting because it's a really interesting political experiment whereby they managed and have managed and had some say over their, own affairs. The server was kind of gifted to them, and there was a partnership that was created. And for me, what's interesting about it is that some of the debates or questions about how things would work or operate came from that group of people. So one example was that there was a really interesting conversation that they wanted to do something that could potentially mess up the economy. And as an early team, way, way, way back in the day, we were kind of able to say, okay, well, now you have a choice. Do you want to do that and become disconnected from the, survival world cluster? Or do you want to remain part of the survival world cluster and not do that? And so I think this is going to be interesting history test cases for how new worlds come about, right? Like you could potentially have a new server, like what Zestra was saying, that tapped into that whole communal area that was just totally disconnected from the survival economy, right? Like you could potentially have a new server that the end was open all day long, 24/7, just like, your 7-Eleven down the street, but it's disconnected from the survival world economy. Now, like what I'm interested to see is how this grows, right? Like, because people aren't paying attention to this, but the survival world economy will be something that will be protected. And probably the DAO will look into rules and inclusions or exclusions for various servers to become involved,
Yep.
That's it. We successfully went through every single one of the wax Uplift World regions. That
nailed it.
Well, not Thune. I guess we didn't do Thune, but Thune isn't really a thing yet. But
it's like
sharding is happening, and it's going to become a thing.
Sharding. It sounds gross when we say it like that, but yep. Anyway, if anyone else has some gratitudes, I threw in. I'm grateful for Zestra. Super duper am.
I'm not so grateful
That's
for Zestra, but the only reason I'm not grateful for Zestra is like she's a superstar in the space, and she's one of the few, original members that I have actually never had a conversation with. And I really want to feature some of her amazing builds over in Chicken Claw, and I've heard nothing but great things from our friend Sue Gentry, which if you know who Sue is, her opinion actually really does matter. So Zestra, I really want to detail some things, and like Corey said, like please just come on the show and give us a tour of some of the early builds and things that you've done. Like there's some pretty amazing things that you guys have been working for, and thank you, Zestra. I'm grateful.
100%. Zestra, let me know when you want to come on, fire me a DM and we'll book that shit. Yeah. We'll do tour on the show. I mean, that'd
be great. Yeah, like I don't think we haven't been to Medfield Market in a while. Is it Medfield Market? No, sorry, it's Medfield Resort. But there's a market over there in Chicken Claw that we haven't been to since.
Sue made that, right? I think, or started.
I thought it was a Sue and Zestra combination thing.
Right. 6 feet deep. Love it. I'm grateful for Zestra's awesome player heads.
So just a little bit of a recap. 9 a.m. Eastern Standard. We should go check on the auctions. I'm sure they're done now.
They are.
But 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Thursday. One more 24-hour auction. Anything across all of the lands, Boarvallis and Swineland Rail, UpLuft, Gratitude. Honestly, I don't even think there's anything left in Genesis, but if there is,
yeah, there might be a few here.
There might be a couple plots around Spawn, actually.
Yeah, dude, there are ocean plots too, and ocean plots in a creative server is like, who cares,
right?
Yeah.
You can just like
I wanna
free
pick some of
sponges
those
all day
up.
long, and if you're if you're worried about it, go check over the Jenner EOS plot. That was Jimmy's first, and it was a pain, but it was a good learning experience.
Oh, hey, you want to watch the fishing derby thing? We still haven't done that.
We've done that.
Watching that thing on the stuff.
We've got really good songs today, Corey.
Yeah.
You should have seen us before the show.
Oh, we were killing it. Super killing it. That's awesome. TC's already in his land, which should shock nobody. That's awesome. TC, was talking about getting these videos on a live stream and just looping them. And I've been thinking about, again, like as we come to where I'm gonna have to put everything on the line personally, like all my finances, my family's financial safety on the line to do this deal to get the Uplift back. I have to make that call at a certain point. That's coming really soon, right? So I've been thinking about it because I'd be a fucking idiot if I didn't. And when I think about, as a financial decision, it's definitely not the smartest thing I could do right now. Because I have options, which is great. And, talk about gratitude, right? But I started thinking, like, why am I so certain? Because I have been. That this is the path. This is what I have to do. Like, why can I just not quit? And it's like these videos in a loop over and over and over again. And the understanding that this is just the beginning. Like, that's like, I can't be what stops this. I wouldn't be able to live with myself. Which is interesting. Anyway. You're muted, dude.
Now, somebody flip.
I don't know what this is. Just random healing music.
Somebody flip and clip that, because that needs to be a thing. Corey talking over that amazing video about his passions and his fears and all of those things. I mean, we're not done. We usually play that little uplift.
Yeah, dude, I thought you were just
we're done, but we're not done. But clip it after that, because that needs to be an NFT or a meme or something. That was great, it's difficult, and it's so special to me personally in a really weird randomized way that you said that while that video was playing. Because for me, I've gotten to know Chia really well over the last week or so. And Zester's right. He's got some amazing builds, but he's an amazing person, right? Like, he is connected to every single one of these community members. I mean, auctions were happening and he was, mailing me, and he's like, I don't know if I can bid on this plot anymore. If I bid on this plot, this guy's going to outbid me. And like he knows everyone because of the events that he's putting on in the server, right? Like, everyone knows who he is. And everyone knows who other people are. And he was like, yeah, man, he's the ultimate connector, right? Like, if I had to nominate one person for being on the community DAO, it would be him, right? Like he knows more people. He's done more amazing builds. He's put on more events than anyone I've ever met.
Who's that?
Chia, the guy who created that space and made the fishing derby, right? Awesome. I'm so excited to have him, as part of the Skyrail art district, working together. I was so afraid he was going to get bid out that I doubled my bids just to go around the plot that I thought he was going to get bid out on, to get what I needed to get. But There's going to be an article coming out tomorrow. If you want to be part of the Sky Rail District, again, we're 4 plots away from.
Yeah, that's fun, man. That whole idea, your latest little obsession, I think is really fun.
Dude, man, like I can't remember like the last time that we were here, but I actually like. It's quite interesting. I'll show you the map. It'll be again in the.
Hey, Renzi, are you on Twitter? I just did it, and oh, that's cool. Mercer's got shirts going on. The IRLs, good stuff.
All right,
we should do something like that at some point.
So those yellow, those purple plots at the top, those 4 plots get us to spawn, which is off the map. All of those white plots, every single one of those white plots, it's a 1 or 2 jump, except for the 2 or 3 that are longer, to get you into the Uplift Rail loop, right? And so think about it this way. Normally, you get out of spawn, you jump on the rails, and you got to change direction to get where you want to go. This rail is a straight through path. There'll be a couple places where you can stop and jump off on other rails, but it's a straight through path. And you can see it already from the Uplift Jedi all the way down to the Nasty Hooks. It's already connected. We already own all of the plots. Those little white dots. I mean, especially if you're somebody who's really good at building grand stations, pick up a rail plot and build a killer station. I mean, the only thing I'm going to ask is that you let us extend the rail. And if you say no, that's fine. The rail won't go through you, and we'll find a new route the next time we put this shit on sale. Right. Yes, it's a really extensive network already, right? And like 4 plots away from spawn is crazy. And this is kind of a small portion of the map, but it's the whole southern area, right? Like we're at the point where I think I told this to the team. We're at the point where we can actually create a rail connection that links Michael EOS USA with Anders. And that's entirely inherent on 1 blue square letting us go through there, but it's a 3-plot connection. The right. 2, if you were here in the early days watching back those streams, Michael and Anders, in a very loving way, had a little bit of a, real fun tiff about like creative survival mode. And in the end, I think Anders kind of won Michael over because, now he's got this amazing plot just south of Jimmy in the Nasty Hooks. But there's an article coming out very soon. Also, please go over to where we had allthealpha.com and help us get the word out there. Like, I mean, I
love that. I love that you have our handle. Actually, somebody has the Uplifters pod. That's funny. Huh. All right, I think I found you. Which is great, by the way. I don't mind at all.
Yeah, so Turbo Eddie in the house. Chia Pet is the man. Turbo Eddie, you're gonna be in this loop somewhere. I haven't quite figured out where. We're gonna put you next to G-Kit. And we're going to give you guys 2 50 by 50s somewhere in this communal area that you guys are able to develop out. And if anyone asks why, well, I'll tell you why, because these are 2 really cool core members of the community that have been bringing us stuff and doing amazing things in their own time to be able to uplift us all on the blog, information, things like that. So it's kind of thank you, Turbo Eddie, for being you and all that you do and introducing me to G-Kid and other people. And I'm really excited to see what you create in this loop. Corey, are you gonna buy into my show?
Yeah, it's gonna be freaking brilliant. I mean, now this also goes for like anything you get obsessed with, but like, look at this. Like, that's super fun, man. Like,
right?
This is like it's gonna be really cool.
So in answer to the question about gratitude, There's a lot of really good things about gratitude, but the best thing about gratitude in 6 months.
Oh, that's awesome. So G-Kid is 6 feet deep. That's good. So I'm glad.
Jesus, I didn't know that.
How much fun is it? Like you're just like, and for real, like G-Kid, just so you know, like Jimmy talks about you all the time, not just on air. So I'm excited that you were lurking and got to just get all that sunshine, richly deserved. Yeah, I mean, like just because we've done a lot of this sort of content creation and taking pictures, and we get astounded by it, and producing that content is fun. But like it was actually one of the pictures or sets of pictures you took of the Cathedral 2.0, like my build, right? Even I was just kind of taken aback. I'm like, that's pretty. Right. I don't know why it made such a big difference that that you took the pictures instead of me. I don't know, but it's true. So thank you for that.
Yeah, he was kind of the impetus for spinning up that whole new the Uplift tour bus series, because he was just firing me off 8 to 10 photos every day with a short little message that said, hey, I was here today, I was bombing around, I was going from one plot to the other, I came across this, like if you want to use these photos. And it's just like it just became this thing, and it was a great idea, and I really hope that more people do it. But yeah, tomorrow's Thursday. Usually we take Thursday off. I'm not going to be around at 9 a.m. I don't know who else will be. The auction's going to kick off, but we'll definitely be back on Friday. Corey, maybe we'll try to go a little bit earlier again, because the auction will end at around 9. So it'd be good if we could jump on the line a little bit earlier, maybe 8:45 or something like that. Hopefully I don't go insane. Or maybe we just go later. I don't know, because like there's definitely going to be rail extensions that I'm going to want to be in on. But I will tell you, I'm not going to outbid people, right? Like what I want to see now is people in gratitude that are kind of focused on extending it. So, if you want to be there and you want to extend it, that's great. I'm going to try to swoop in the last moment and pick up 1 or 2 more connections if I can, to get more people on that Skyrail map. So I don't know, Corey, do you have plans to maybe jump in to kick off the 24-hour auction, or maybe we'll just come back on Friday?
Yeah, are we starting that tomorrow morning?
Tomorrow at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I won't be here, but like maybe you can jump in with somebody else.
Or we can. I think like it's pretty much like, so we were even.
Jen will probably cover it on Jen's awesome show as well.
That's probably true. Yeah, we were talking about whether to promote it all, because I mean, really, this is like the members of our community that had spots they might want to pick up, or might want to just like scoop a few more to get DAO tokens or whatever it is, right? Like this is not necessarily we want to like do this. Just there was like a lot of people that missed auctions in the first one, and had stuff tied up that they couldn't use, or and they want to do that. So this is mostly for them, right? Obviously, like we need fucking runway. So like if anyone else wants to come in and buy shit tons of land, good, please.
Well, and like I think to your point,
the first early little bit is going to be kind of challenging for us. But
I think to your point, I'll throw this up as well. But like, there's a lot of people who won certain bids that might want to like pick up a rail plot next to it or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Like this isn't necessarily the best picture for it, but you can see, right? Like I wasn't such a big fan of it, but like honestly, like having a rail plot that connects to your big blue plot 250 by 250, that's kind of golden, really, right? Like. To be able to connect those in those estates. So so we'll definitely be back on Friday at some point to round up the auction. And like Corey said, feel free to promote this if you think it's a good idea, but the main reason for this secondary one is just because people were asking for it. Now that the round 1 kind of auctions are settled and what land you have, it's really easy to be able to go and add to those kind of empires or estates that you happen to win at the last minute, or you got sold out of, and you've got that little bit of extra wax. No pressure, no foul, but it's up to you. Like Corey said, this is for the people who are here that want it. I think that's it, Corey.
Okay.
I think it's time to wrap it up. Thank you all for joining us. Thank you for being a part of our awesome community. I don't know if I'd want to be here without this community. Because honestly, like Corey hinted at the beginning, we could go off and do other amazing things, but you guys and all that you're kind of here for, and the belief that you give us really does make
it's mission, right? Like, boil all this stuff away, and the original mission to create a Ready Player One version 1.0 or 0.1.0, whatever, right? Like the to dig into what that might be like it's working, right? The play to earn stuff, brand fucking new, working. The economy is getting more complex and more interesting all the time. It's at this first little iteration, like, just there's too much left to do, I guess, right? And serving this community, like, if it's the last fucking thing I do, will have been good. Like, it would have been the right choice.
I mean, to be fair, you're not me, so you'll probably be around a lot longer.
I mean, just stop trying to like accidentally fucking fall off buildings. Okay,
fair enough. So, rock, scissors, paper. Ready? 1, 2, 3, go.
Oh, you just like go? That's like, you gotta do this.
Have
you rock, paper, scissors before? Like, is it? Like the lag?
In Japan, we do it different. Ready? Rock, scissors, paper. 1, 2, 3, go.
I can't see your hand, weirdo.
I was like here. Yeah.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah,
you
sure,
win.
Yeah.
So tomorrow, 23 hours from now, 24-hour auction. Go get your shit.
Yep.
For anyone who doesn't know, it was always going to be the fast-paced video.